Hey guys, what is up? It is your friendly neighborhood Ubergoose here, back again with another Isaac Break Run. This time we're starting with Cricket's body. Let's go. Let's do it. I may be interrupted in the middle of this recording session by a cat who would like to eat more food or something. We'll see. Oh my god, the greatest drop of all time. I mean, so far, the cats that I'm watching, Larry and Xenu, they don't seem to just, you know, eat excessively, which is good. Because most cats that I know, and I've cat sit for some family friends before and stuff like that, but most cats that I've known of tend to just eat. If there's food, they just eat. But Larry and Xenu are really, really good about their eating habits. They don't overeat dramatically. Like, I fill the bowl like once a day, and they pretty much eat that exactly in the whole day. So that was rude, little spider. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know. The bowl looked a little bit empty, but we'll see. It'll probably be all right though. I'm just gonna grab this, I think. I'm trying to think of how that'd go wrong. I don't think there's a way it could go wrong. Because there wasn't any other rooms, so there's no way I could have had a charge without the battery, so whatever. Yeah, I don't think there's any downsides to it. But anyway, Cricket's body is sweet. All of the splashes do half of a tier worth of damage. They literally do 50% of your damage, even though 4 of them pop out. It gives you... Ugh, I was really hoping for something better. Oh well. It gives you a tier lay down, which is essentially a tears up based on the amount of tears up you have. And you get a range down, but whatever. I'm not having it. I'm just not having it. Okay. I was pretty desperately hoping that chest would have anything other than just pennies and red hearts, but that's okay. We can survive, hopefully. Hopefully we can survive. It's not looking great, because if I don't get the second floor item room, I'm gonna be in some deep doo-doo. Okay. I hate missing the second floor item room, but sometimes it just it happens. Can't really control it. It's seriously, it's just one of those completely uncontrollable factors that can make or break your run, and it sucks that that's a thing, but oh well. It's not that that item room has like more weight than future item rooms, but it's the fact that it can snowball, right? Like if you can get into the item room, the floor 2 item room, and in it you have, I don't know, Ipecac, right? I hate you, Dingle, I really do. I haven't had a problem with Dingle in so fucking long, and then recently he's just been hitting me constantly. And I don't know what to do. But yeah, if you like get Ipecac or something that can snowball incredibly heavily, I mean, there's a lot of things you could get from it that would snowball the run to an incredibly good position. But, you know, not getting the item room at all means that, that can't happen. Which I don't think I need to tell you is a bad thing, but anyway. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to reroll, and I'm not going to take that. I had a choice of 2 flying items. I did want to take a flying item, so I took the one that has the Ouija board effect. Which, maybe I shouldn't have. I don't know. It's basically irrelevant. I think Lord of the Pit falls under the category of items that don't... Like, they don't give you the stat upgrade immediately, but they do give it to you eventually. I believe. Alright, I'll take lard. Okay, we have one shot at this. Come on, please. Ugh. Alright, we have more than one shot at this. No. Not only is the secret room in the bad spot. I mean, like, maybe I just... You know what? Whatever. This is bad. This is real bad. It's getting to a very dangerous spot. Low speed. I do have, like, great upgrades. The ones I do have are really good. It's just that my speed stat is still very low. I don't have Spirit Hearts, and this room's gonna hit me. Almost assuredly. It didn't. I'm a god! Okay. Low consumables, low speed, and just, I don't know, low morale. That should be a stat that's tracked somewhere. I don't know, it doesn't feel great. And yeah, like I said, no Spirit Hearts either. This is good though. Thank God for the key. Okay. Couldn't have been Balls of Steel one time. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. As long as it's... I was gonna say. As long as it's not a speed down, which almost guarantees that I get hit, then I'm fine. But then I got hit guaranteed anyway. And everything sucks. But let's just do Pestilence and hope that he doesn't hit me with his bullshit Radial Tears. Or the Trites, you know, fling themselves right at me. At least not too hard, obviously. Okay, nice. Got it, the deal anyway. And it's bad. It's really good. So I'm really hesitant, but fuck it. Like, if I got a telepills, whatever, man. Whatever. I think I'd rather get placenta than ball of bandages at this stage. Maybe I'm weird, but I don't know. I've sort of like lost my ability to give a shit about ball of bandages and Cuban meat. They're just, I don't know, they're fine. Obviously, if you upgrade them, okay. If you upgrade them, then they're incredible, but that's the thing, is that you're never guaranteed to upgrade them. Even with Book of Revelations, you're never guaranteed to get the level 4, right? So, I mean, I don't know. They're too random. Even for Isaac, they're too random, I think. Because at the end of the day, if you do not upgrade Ball of Bandages, what you have is literally a Pretty Fly pill. Just a singular Pretty Fly pill, right? If you never upgrade it. That's not very good. It's great when it's a pill because it doesn't take up an item slot, right? But not so great when it's an item. And the reason that I saved my keys is so I could get into the shop, of course. And it's not great. Okay. I do want to finish exploring. I feel like there's just one room here, though, which is very upsetting. There's 2 rooms, but we're in a weird spot. So, I wasn't getting in there anyway, so I might as well utilize my health to get some money. A lot of money, actually. That was crazy. I mean, I guess I could have gotten in there. Whatever, fuck it. Foresight's not my strong suit, and that's okay. I'm gonna grab this as well, and then I'm gonna buy this just to make it easier on myself. So what do I want to do? I mean, I want to get, at the very least, I want to get a range up before the run ends. I do need to prioritize one range up. That'll help me a huge deal at this point. But if I'm not gonna get a range up, just give me like a number 1, you know? Just give me a shitload more tiers. Oh my god, I walked into it. How did that one hit me? Come on! The first one I walked into. The second one shouldn't have hit me. What a fucking bullshit enemy. I just don't want to deal with bullshit hits anymore. That's all I want. Like, if I dodge something, I want it to not hit me, you know? I don't want to be like, oh, well, the, you know, game rolled 1 in 256, you got hit, haha. That's not enjoyable. I know it's technically not that, but the hitboxes are so fucked, it might as well be. And it's not all the hitboxes, just, like, very specific ones. And I've noticed from spread shot enemies, that hitbox is generally at least a little fucked. It seems to depend on the exact enemy that's doing the dirty work. How are you not dead? Okay. Thought like 3 tiers hit that dingleberry. But I don't know, man. Fucking hitboxes are a fickle beast, I guess. The biggest problem with hitboxes when it comes to making them in games is that, like, it's... I mean, the problem is, right, you can't realistically make hitboxes for everything in the game that is exactly tied to the sprite. Not realistically. You could theoretically do that, but you have to just literally do boxes most of the time, right? Like, if you look at hitboxes in most games, you're gonna see, like, for main character, for example, Isaac. I don't actually know if this is true with Isaac, but just using him as an example character. It would be like a square seated on top of a tall rectangle, right? Like, that would be Isaac's hitbox. Not like, you know, an oval and then the hitbox of the body changing with the form of the body, right? Like, getting the item the body makes your arms bigger, right? So it would be, yeah, like, there's just, it's not realistic to actually tie the hitbox to the sprite, right? I mean, like, obviously you want it close enough that people don't really notice, but, you know, not every tier that gets shot in this game, you can't make it so all of the hitboxes are a perfect circle, centered perfectly on the tier itself. And it ends at exactly the end of the sprite. That's just not a thing. I wish it were. It'd make things a lot less frustrating, but it is not a thing. Please be more rooms. I need more rooms. Don't you hit me, you spread shot pieces of shit. Thank God for more tears ups. Ow. Ah. This is right at the end. Oh god, this sucks. Maybe I want greed in my shop then. I don't know. Or I guess I could just hope for enemies in here. Sick. That's insane, actually. That might have been the deciding factor of the run. I think it was. I actually think it was. That's so good. It's not greed, which is fine. I've decided I don't care about greed now. What was my item room again? I don't remember. If I didn't take it, I'm assuming it was bad. And I didn't take it, so... Right. Okay. And I do want to reroll this again, and there is a battery in the shop that I can buy. And because of the Book of Revelation, I don't actually have to buy the Spirit Heart, which I was heavily considering, but just to pad my health more, but I don't need to do that now, which is great. I mean, okay, fine, fuck it. Kane's Other Eye. I do think it's an item that gets a lot more hate than it deserves. I don't think it's the worst item in the game. Now, if you ask me off the top of my head, what do I think is the worst item in the game, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Sorry. Okay. I wouldn't be able to tell you because I'm not great at thinking on my feet, but I do think it's not Kane's Other Eye. I would definitely rate Kane's Other Eye more highly than Punching Bag. Because Kane's Other Eye at least has a tangible benefit to it. While Punching Bag is just... it's tangible in specific situations, I guess. But overall, you can't say Punching Bag will be an overwhelming positive force in the run, right? Now, obviously, I'm not saying... I guess I'm overstating how beneficial Kane's Other Eye is, but you can always say without a shadow of a doubt when you pick up Kane's Other Eye, it will increase your damage per second. It will. Like, it just will. Whether you like the item or not, that's not you can't refute that. If it hits one time throughout the entire run, one tier hitting throughout the whole run, it will have increased your DPS. Right? Punching Bag can't promise that. It's not a thing that deals damage. So that's insanely good. I don't want it, but I'm not sure if I want to reroll it. We'll find out after the boss. Ah, Bloat. Hey. Hey, Bloat. Don't be a douche. Don't be a douche. You're being a douche. Oh my god. I'm just... my butthole is in a perpetual clench. It's fine. I'm well over tier cap. I need tier to lay down desperately. More tier to lay down, of course, is what I'm saying. Here's what I'm gonna do. Just to show this again, because I think it's cool. All right, well, it only dropped one. I'm not too upset about that. I have plenty of bombs. Basically, what'll happen is sometimes you can make blue and purple fires drop more than one Spirit Heart a pop with simultaneous explosions, which is very cool. Okay. I would like to find my shop soon. I would like to never deal with this room ever again. I would like it to vanish from existence. How did I not get hit? I don't even have high speed. I'm just getting so lucky. Or is it skill? It's probably luck. I'm really not good at dodging those enemies. Maybe the low speed is helping me. Crazy idea right there. Alright, so this is going to be very potentially useful. We'll see what happens first with this wing. I'm actually not too confident that there's going to be more rooms. Well, there's one. I guess I can also find my secret room and hope for greed or something. That's nice. I don't have to deal with the room at all. I tried to kick it in a way that I really shouldn't have, but whatever. Secret room? Okay. So I'm fairly certain I know where the secret room is, because based on this, it is perfectly framed. Well, actually, wait, no. Ah, shit. I didn't think about that. Okay, well, everything's gone downhill quickly. So I was banking on actually getting the charge from that room where you had to fight for stuff. And I have literally no way to fight for stuff now in that room. So I only get one reroll on Harlequin Baby. If I even want it, which I think I do. And that pill was a Tears Up, I believe. which I do not need at this point. My tier stat is capped. Until I get more tiered way down. Or maybe it's just capped in general. I'm still not 100% on the way that it works, but I like to think I am. This is perfect. So this is the range up that I needed, which is great. And it's honestly not a bad item. Now, it does require to get hit. It does require me to get hit in order to have benefit from the blood trail, of course, which innately makes it a worse item than if I just, of course, had a blood trail. I didn't think that those did contact damage, but I'm wrong. Okay. But Anemic, on the other hand, does give just give a range up. And at the end of the day, it's just a strictly better version of Mom's Heals. That's it. Simple as that. And I mean strictly better. People seem to have very twisted understandings of the phrase strictly better. As somebody who played Magic the Gathering for a large amount of my life, and I mean, I still keep up to date with it. I don't actively play it anymore, but I keep up to date with it. I actually probably will use that Stars card after grabbing the shit in this room. I have seen... Oh, sure. I have seen so many completely dramatically different interpretations of the phrase strictly better. And the correct one is when you take the words literally. Strictly better means in every single possible situation that could exist, one is better than the other. That means strictly better, right? No confusion. Very basic, very literal. Not like, well, in 99.9% of the situation. No, if one card, you know, if you're trying to argue, and although in fairness, that's also not the most, specifically in Magic, it's not the most agreed upon definition of strictly better because Mindslaver is a card. So in Magic, it's a bit up in the air, I suppose, because Mindslaver is a card where you can take control of your opponent's next turn. Basically, like you do everything for them for the next turn, and it's a really neat effect. It's not even overpowered at all because it costs so much mana, but it is used as a win condition in a very cool modern deck. But anyway, so there is the argument, if Mindslaver Worst Nightmares, which is a card with the same effect but different, if those are in the conversation, then no card is ever strictly better than another at all, right? Which does mean that I guess I'm wrong, and the 99.9% of the time is strictly better, you know, right? Like, technically I'm wrong then. But I mean, then you could argue that Shock is better than Lightning Bolt, because you wouldn't be getting Lightning Bolted in the face by your own spell, right? You'd be getting shocked in the face. So they're dealing one less damage to you, which would make Shock better in that situation, right? And that's fair enough, right? I think it's fair enough to eliminate things that are worse cards, which is better for you when your opponent has ways to steal the effect, right? That's the part where it gets weird. But fucking strictly better is such a stupid thing. So, I mean, in Hearthstone, there's some strictly better stuff going on right now. Ice Rager's one of the cards from the Grand Tournament, which is a joke, kind of. It exists. There's a card in the basic set? Classic set? Basic set, I think. I think it's a basic card. Where it is a 3-mana 5/1. That's it. Vanilla 3-mana 5/1. No tribal or anything like that. Just 3-mana 5/1. I probably will be taking Fate, but I'm holding off for now. please stop shooting so I can kill you. But the Ice Rager is a 3-mana 5/2. Same, no tribal, no nothing, just same card, right? That is a strictly better situation. Technically, if you're playing Mage, and your opponent's playing, say, I don't know, Priest, right? Then, maybe, it's better to have Magma Rager in your deck. Because if the Priest Thought Steals Magma Rager, you can kill it with your hero power. You can expend 0 cards to kill it, right? And he doesn't have an easy way of dealing with your Magma Rager compared to if you had Ice Rager, because he's a Priest, and most of Priest's removal would do 2 damage, right? So in that instance, whoops. Magma Rager's better than Ice Rager. But that's not a real situation, right? I still think that, like, I don't know, it's such a fucking fickle piece of shit sort of topic. Because people have, you know, like I said before, they have widely varying opinions on the matter. But it's so ridiculous. Because then, you know, a card comes out, and then because people hear what I'm saying here, and they, like, you know, misinterpret it or something, new card comes out that is probably better than another card in quite a few situations. Like, for example, King's Elec versus Bloodfen Raptor. I mean, that one's a bit harder to say. King's Elec is another new card from the Grand Tournament, where it's a 2-mana 3/2 beast. You joust, and then if yours is higher mana cost, you draw it. So it can be 2-mana 3/2 beast, draw a minion, right? Which is insanely good. But I hesitate to say it's strictly better because it might give your opponent info, right? I could see people honestly playing King's Elec in a more hybrid hunter. Not full mid-range, but like a hybrid hunter, right? One that maybe doesn't play Savannah Highmanes, but plays stuff like Web Spinner and Houndmaster, right? And in that sort of deck, and the reason that you play it in that deck is because Beast Tag is relevant in a deck like that. And, you know, you're not always going to lose the Joust if you don't have 6-mana minions in your deck. You're still going to win sometimes, right? When you flip Houndmaster and they flip a Zombie Chow, it's like, you're... Good job. Like, even if their deck is 90% big dudes, you're not always going to lose Jousts, right? So, it's just extra value, right? But, here's the thing, right? If you play King's Elec, if there's multiple decks that play King's Elec, there is a downside to it. If it reveals Savannah Highmane, they know exactly which deck you are that plays King's Elec. It's not a huge downside, I'll admit that. I might be nitpicking here, but I do think it's not irrelevant. Information is king in card games. It really is. And that's why Hearthstone, I think, is missing something. It's missing the information aspect, right? Like, it's missing a card that allows you... Like, you can... Obviously, you can deduce what kind of deck your opponent's on after seeing them play for, you know, X amount of turns, generally. And that's cool, and that's nice, and everything's fine about that, but... The problem I have with it, right? People complain about combo decks like Patron Warrior, which, by the way, has 40% competitive... Well, not 40%, like 45% competitive win rate. With, like, under 10% of the metagame being Patron Warrior, but people are still like, well, how is this fair? Well, I mean, if you don't see how it's fair, I would recommend looking at the numbers, because the numbers don't lie. I mean, I don't know. And then there was a, quote, study done just riddled with selection bias about Patron Warrior. It's like, we analyzed 1,200 Patron Warrior games played by, and then a just list of professional players, all of the games played on ladder, and I'm like, how can you deduce anything from this? And they ended with, what was the win rate, like 60%? And I'm like, you could have chosen a shitty combo deck that doesn't exist yet, right? Like a deck that requires like 17 cards to kill, and the win rate would still be so similar. It would still be well above 50%, I'll tell you that much, because of the selection bias. They were watching pro players play on ladder, right? And ended with a 60% win rate. That's not that high. That's not excessively high. If it was like, you know, somewhere in the realm of like 70 to 80% or higher, yes, then I agree. There is a problem with Patron Warrior, and those numbers are relevant, even if you're analyzing pros, right? But 60%, that's fine. That's perfectly reasonable. But, and also 1,200 games. It's not that it's the smallest sample size, but it definitely is, it's possible to have been, I guess, tainted by outliers and streaks, right? Like 1,200, it's a reasonably big sample size. It's probably higher than the professional win rate of Patron Warrior statistic. It's probably, that statistic probably didn't even have a 1,200 sample size. But I do think that in both cases you need to just take the information with a grain of salt, for sure. But I'm firmly in the camp that believes that Patron Warrior is not broken. And the other thing about it is, where this idea stemmed from, this conversation stemmed from, I think there needs to be a card in Hearthstone that allows you to force the opponent to discard something. There needs to be. I really think there needs to be. Because right now, most people who complain about anything in Hearthstone are complaining about decks that do one-turn kills, right? That's it. That's the main complaint. People also complain about Face Hunter, but that's because people are fucking stupid and whatever. And don't understand that a healthy metagame needs to have a good aggro deck in order to maintain, you know, interest and not have any sort of thing be overwhelming. Because if aggro was shit, combo would be king, right? People try to argue combo's king now just because there's, I mean, Patron and Druid, but whatever. Druid not so much. Druid's more of just like a mid-rangey control type deck that happens to have a 2-card combo that isn't immensely broken. But anyway, it's not that it's immensely broken, it's just very good. It's a very, very, very good combo. It's a 2-card 14 damage combo. I don't know if I want any of these. Actually, I don't. But, you know, aggro keeps combo in check, right? Combo keeps control in check. And control keeps aggro in check. That's what a healthy metagame needs. So the fact that Face Hunter is a good deck is good for the metagame. If Face Hunter was a shit deck right now, can you imagine what Grim Patron would be like? It would just be running rampant. And then people are like, "Ooh, but Grim Patron just eats up aggro decks." I don't think you've played Grim Patron. I don't know. Grim Patron auto loses if, well, not auto loses. The majority of the games that it wins are after 10 mana, right? Not all, but the majority. An aggro deck tries to kill you between turns 5 and 7, depending on the draw, depending on the interaction, right? Grim Patron, in the window of turns 5 to 7, they can go for like a board clearing combo with the Warsong and Patrons, and then hope that can, you know, maintain board position until the game ends. Wow, not getting the greatest items. But, it's not, it doesn't have a great time against Face Hunter. So, I don't know. People who play Hearthstone seem to be very upset about everything, because the majority of them haven't played a game like Magic, or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon. Any TCG. This is their first TCG, for most people who complain. It's their first TCG. I don't know why I just picked that up. I meant to grab the Spirit Heart, but my brain. And I'm not saying that as like a, you know, oh, you fucking newbie, or, you know, I'm not saying that to like insult people. I'm not saying it to insult people. I'm just saying they don't have experience with the things currently going on in Hearthstone. And because it's their first experience, they're making judgment calls without a lot of backing reasoning. But yeah, and the other thing is, you know, people saw, because there's like 2 or 3 debatably 2 or 3, strictly better cards in the Grand Tournament, and people are saying that and going like, power creep, and I'm like, alright, you just need to fucking take a seat, Google Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, or Pokemon TCG, I think Pokemon was victim to power creep, and read about the power creep, actual power creep, not, you know, a 5-mana 5/4 that's not getting played, upgraded as a different card entirely, of common rarity, to a 4-mana 5/4 taunt. That's not power creep. Also, that's still not going to get played, so it's irrelevant anyway. Like, that's not power creep. It's just not. It's objectively not. Anyway, whatever. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I don't know what to do with my mouth. Sorry, that was weird and gross. I'll see you in the next one, though.